Hello and welcome to your history class. I hope you have seen the introductory lecture of this chapter, Changing Cultural Traditions. Today we will be touching the topics of how humanities was taught in universities, what was the view of the historians for humanism, and what were the Arab contribution in philosophy and other subjects. So, just a quick recap of what I have taught in the previous lecture. We were just studying about how the Renaissance period came into being and how people started giving importance to education with a particular reference on the cities of Italy. And there were three cities, Florence, Venice, and Genoa, who which the cities which really flourished, and a lot of philosophers and religious beliefs were changed, new philosophy was taught, and they became centers of education, centers of propagation of different cultures, or centers of trade and commerce and learning, and not only various other subjects but other uh, arts also, like sculpture, like architecture, like art and painting. So we see that a wind of change is coming into Europe, where people are giving more importance to education, where the staunch orthodox religious beliefs were undergoing a change, where the stronghold of the church was decreasing, and people, because they were now studying religion, they were now studying theology. Theology is study of religion. दे बिकॉज वो इतने सारे सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ रहे थे लोग, क्योंकि लोग इतना सारा मतलब उनको रीज़न आउट करने के लिए मिल रहा था. दे वर फ्री टू क्वेश्चन एंड दे वर गेटिंग द आंसर्स ऑफ ऑल द डाउट्स दे हैड. तो वो अब सही गलत, डेवलपमेंट, फ्रीडम, लिबरलिज्म, इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में उन्होंने जानना शुरू किया. And though there was this change was very say optimistic in nature, because it helped the people to undergo a change in their outlook and thinking also. So talking about the universities and humanism, now actually when the earlier universities were opened in Europe, so the main attention was on studying medicine and law, right? क्योंकि जैसे universities of Padua and Bologna, now these two places are in Italy, and the University of Padua and the University of Bologna was like well known in university, and people studied commerce over there. Commerce in the sense कि ये हम 11th century की बात कर रहे हैं कि because lawyers and notaries, they were into trend, तो जो लोग वहाँ लॉ पढ़ने जा रहे थे, तो they wanted a study which would help them to become a solicitor मतलब lawyer, along with record keeping, कि कैसे वो लोग records को maintain करने की भी study कर सकें. So और जो ये rules होते हैं trade and commerce के, so they would be able to interpret the rules of the state, of the government, written agreements हैं, ये contracts हैं, इनकी study कैसे करते हैं, कैसे इसकी study की help से trade और commerce को बढ़ा सकते हैं. So basically people studied law, and law became a subject, a very popular subject, and people emphasized on studying law and medicine. जो ये change आ रहा था यूरोप में, स्पेशली इटली में, तो एक शख्स थे, इनका नाम था फ्रांचेस्को पेट्रार्क. He lived between 1300 and 4 to 1378. So he brought in that change, okay, and he stressed upon the importance कि reading is very very important of ancient authors, because studying law and medicine is not only the sources of gaining education, but you have to study religion, you have to study culture. यही चीज़ मैंने आपको पिछले लेक्चर में भी दी थी कि लोग सिर्फ पहले रिलीजन के बारे में पढ़ते थे और रिलीजन के बारे में that was also reserved for a certain class of people. But now all of them, they had the freedom and the resources to study religion, to study cultures, to study the political system, to study the civilizations, और कहीं एक जगह तक सीमित नहीं था, आप कुछ भी पढ़ सकते थे, right? So this educational system, जो नया educational system हुआ, ये it was not only restricted to study religion, but it was much more than that. तो जो teachers या students, right, who started to teach, especially teachers I'm talking about, who started to teach grammar, who started to teach poetry, who started to teach history, who started to teach philosophy, they came to be known as humanists, right? उनको हम एक नया कैटेगरी बना ह्यूमनिस्ट नाम का, और ये सब सारे सब्जेक्ट्स जो थे ये ह्यूमनिज्म को डिपिक्ट करते थे, इसलिए जो ये सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ाता था उनको ह्यूमनिस्ट नाम से बुलाया जाने लगा, right? Then we also see that a small city like जिसकी बात हमने अभी करी, फ्रांचेस्को पेट्रार्क, he was living in a city called Florence. So Florence became a center point of education, and not only because of Francesco Petrarch, but also because of great philosophers like Dante and Giotto, right? You have to remember these names. Like we see कि 13th century के end में and till the time we come to the 15th century, there was a dramatic change. There was a vast change in the thinking of the people, and the people started, the city of Florence became a center of learning. जिसके बाद जिनका नाम अभी मैंने लिया है, Dante. He lived between 1265 to 1321, and he was a layman मतलब common man, who wrote on religious themes. Layman इसलिए बोला जाता है क्योंकि पहले सिर्फ priestly class को religious studies करने की अनुमति थी, लेकिन डांटे एक लेमैन थे, यानी कि वो एक प्रीस्ट नहीं थे, एक कॉमन मैन थे जिन्होंने रिलीजन को पढ़ा और उसके बारे में काफ़ी सारी किताबें लिखी. गियोटो अगेन, ही वॉज एन आर्टिस्ट हु पेंटेड लाइफ लाइक पोर्ट्रेट्स. So he painted a lot of portraits on child Jesus, who the Christians believe in, and he painted lots of pictures on religious themes. So he was also known for his intellect, for his wisdom, and for his way of thinking, which was not the same as the others of his time. He was much ahead of the people who lived during his time. So we see कि ये जो रेनेसा पीरियड है उसमें जो लोग ज़्यादा पढ़ते थे उसको रेनेसा मैन के नाम से भी जाना जाता था. और रेनेसा मैन कौन था? He was a person who was not only educated in one subject, he studied multiple subjects. यानी कि एक ही स्कॉलर है, उसने फिलॉसफी भी पढ़ी है, उसने थियोलॉजी भी पढ़ी है. थियोलॉजी मतलब रिलीजियस स्टडीज़. वो एक आर्टिस्ट भी है, वो एक डिप्लोमैट भी है. एक डिप्लोमैट मतलब पॉलिटिशियन, राइट? तो उसने पॉलिटिकल साइंस भी पढ़ा है, उसने थियोलॉजी भी पढ़ी है, रिलीजियस स्टडीज़ भी की हैं, उसने उसने बाकी की वो एक आर्टिस्ट भी है और उसने बाकी सारे सब्जेक्ट्स भी पढ़े हैं. सो वन मैन was full of such a lot of knowledge which helped in the way, because in the way of changing the mindset of the common man who could not जो section of society था जो नहीं पढ़ सकता था या नहीं स्कूल जा सकता था ड्यू टू वेरियस रीजंस, इकोनॉमिक रीजंस, फाइनेंशियल रीजंस, अदर रीजंस ऑल्सो. बिकॉज ये बात भी ध्यान में रखनी है क्योंकि उस ज़माने में भी हमारे हिंदुस्तान के जैसे जो स्कूल्स थे वो सिर्फ बॉयज़ के लिए थे. गर्ल्स वर नॉट very much into getting educated. It came much later. Okay, so that's what we are talking about over here, that people started getting educated. Basically boys started getting educated and they got education in various subjects. So one man was studying law, one man was studying political science, one man was studying philosophy, one man was studying artist. तो एक ही आदमी के पास इतने सारे सब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में नॉलेज थी. इसलिए if you name some great philosophers like Dante or Plato or Aristotle, these are people who made a lot of impact on the people of their city. And they are people who are so intelligent and they are known as like intellectuals. कि इनकी वजह से लोग जब इन्होंने बोलना शुरू किया, जब इनके लेक्चर्स होते थे, स्पीचेस होते थे, इनकी बुक्स होती थी, बाहर निकलती थी, तो लोगों का जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स लोगों के माइंड में जो क्लियर नहीं थे, अनसर्टन थे, तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर होने लगे और उनमें एक जज्बा जागने लगा पढ़ने का. पहली बात. दूसरे, उनको ऐसी कई चीज़ें पता चली जो उनको पहले नहीं पता थी और शायद वो रिलीजन के नाम पे डरते थे या वो किसी को क्वेश्चन करने से डरते थे. क्योंकि जब आप पढ़े लिखे होते हैं तब आप दूसरे से बहस कर सकते हैं, आप आर्ग्यू कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट दैट यू नो मोर देन द अदर पर्सन. बट व्हेन यू आर नॉट एजुकेटेड, दैट कॉन्फिडेंस इज नॉट देयर. When you do not have knowledge of a certain topic on a certain subject, and it's always better to keep your mouth shut when you do not have the knowledge of a particular subject. But it is always, knowledge is vast. Knowledge is, it's a sea. जितना भी हम पढ़ेंगे उतना ही हमारे लिए कम है, लेकिन हम जितना पढ़ेंगे उतना हमारे सोचने का नज़रिया बदलेगा. Right. Now we come to what was the viewpoint of the historians about humanism and जो ये दौर चल रहा था रेनेसां का. Now ऐसा कहा जाता है कि जब रोमन एम्पायर, it was also one, Roman civilization was also one which is known to bring in a lot of changes, right, in every way. तो वो भी अपने समय से आगे का सोचते थे और बहुत अच्छा, उसमें बहुत चीज़ें ऐसी लोगों ने सीखी जो उस दौर के लिए बहुत मॉडर्न थी. बट व्हेन द रोमन एम्पायर केम टू एन एंड, देन अ पीरियड, दैट पीरियड when the Roman Empire declined is called the Dark Ages by some historians, right? And फिर उसके बाद जो दौर शुरू होता है उसको मिडिल एजेस कहा जाता है. लेकिन जब हम 15th सेंचुरी में पहुंच गए और तब ये ह्यूमनिस्ट्स जो थे, जो इंटेलेक्चुअल्स के बारे में जो बात कर रहे हैं, दे गेव अ न्यू वर्ड टू अस which is called the modern age. So after the 15th century, the history that we study is called modern history. उससे पहले की जो हिस्ट्री हम पढ़ते हैं उसको बोलते हैं मिडीवियल हिस्ट्री, और उससे भी पहले की जो रोमन एम्पायर से पहले के बारे में हम पढ़ते हैं तो वो हम पढ़ते हैं एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री. बट स्टिल द पीरियड इज़ डिवाइडेड इनटू सर्टेन सेक्शंस, यानी कि 5th सेंचुरी से 14th सेंचुरी तक मिडिल एजेस कहा जाता है, जिसमें 5th सेंचुरी से 9th सेंचुरी तक डार्क एजेस था. That was a period when the Roman Empire declined. So it was a period of no activity. Nothing big happened. No developments took place. Nothing as such different took place which could be registered as something beyond the civilization. From 9th century till the 11th century, it's called the early Middle Ages. 11th century से 14th century तक है late Middle Ages और 15th century से onwards है modern age. लेकिन कुछ historians थे जो कि इस शब्द जो dark ages जो हम use करते हैं period को one as this period between the 5th century and the 9th century, which is known as the Dark Ages. Some historians are against it because they say no period in history should be known as the Dark Ages, क्योंकि एक सभ्यता उधर एग्जिस्ट करती थी, एक कल्चर एग्जिस्ट करता था, एक ट्रेडिशन एग्जिस्ट करता था. ऐसा तो था नहीं कि उस समय दुनिया में लोग ही नहीं थे, कुछ तो था, कुछ तो रिवाज रीति रिवाज फॉलो हो रहे होंगे, किसी तरीके से लोग रह रहे होंगे. सो यू कैन नॉट टर्म एनी पीरियड इन हिस्ट्री एज डार्क एजेस. सो that's the debate about among the historians that you shouldn't call those centuries as dark ages, but still in history the debate is still on and it is still known as the dark ages. Now coming to the last section of this lecture, I told you last time कि जो हम पिछले chapters में हमने पढ़ा है कि जो Central Islamic States थे कि कैसे Arab culture भी develop हुआ. So what was the role of the Arab philosophers, or what was the contribution of the Arab philosophers in this whole system of education, right? So ज़्यादातर हम लोग जो बेस है वो ग्रीक सिविलाइजेशन और रोमन सिविलाइजेशन को मानते हैं, क्योंकि उस ज़माने में दो द स्टडीज़ एंड एजुकेशन वाज limited to the monks and the clergy. But we see that in the 14th century many scholars began to translate the Greek work and the Roman works that were done during that time. So, and for the translation, so that how the books were translated and how the other Europeans could read and understand and grasp this knowledge, the credit goes to the Arab translators, right? And they were the one who changed or translated, not changed, changed is a wrong word, translated the works of the Greek philosophers and writers, Plato and Aristotle. They are two great philosophers. और अरब मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स मिली हैं जिसमें प्लेटो को अफलातून के नाम से जाना गया है और अरिस्टोटल को अरिस्तु के नाम से जाना गया है. एंड क्योंकि ये दो फिलोसोफर्स को अभी भी लोग पढ़ते हैं और अभी भी इनकी टीचिंग्स फॉलो होती हैं, सो दीज वर टू पीपल हुज वर्क्स वर ट्रांसलेटेड बाय द अरब philosophers. Because and when they were translated, the Greek works, and means it was a give and take process. जो ग्रीक्स थे उन्होंने अरब के काम को ट्रांसलेट किया और जो अरब्स थे उन्होंने ग्रीक के काम को ट्रांसलेट किया. So the works which were translated were not only in science but maths, astronomy, medicine, chemistry, इन सब सब्जेक्ट्स की बुक्स थी. जो मैटर था, जो पढ़ाई की बातें जो उस समय एग्जिस्ट करती थी, उनको ट्रांसलेट किया गया दूसरी भाषाओं में ताकि और यूरोपियंस उनको पढ़ सके और उनका ज्ञान प्राप्त कर सकें. And among these Muslim writers who translated the works, one is known as Ibn Sina. He was He was an Arab physician and he was a philosopher from Bukhara. Then there was a man called Al-Razi, उनको रईस के नाम से भी जाना जाता है. He was the author of the Medical Encyclopedia. And there was also a writer known as Ibn Rushd, and he was an Arab philosopher of Spain. He used to live in Spain, and he was the one who translated the works of the works of philosophical knowledge and religious beliefs. And this method, जो adapted method होता था, वो क्रिश्चियन राइटर्स ने भी या क्रिश्चियन थिंकर्स ने भी लेटर ऑन एक्सेप्ट किया और उन्होंने भी फिर किताबें लिखनी शुरू की. सो व्हाट वी सी नाउ in the 15th century is a drastic change in the thinking of the people. Education became a give and take process. The universities who earlier taught and they were limited to only medicine and theology, right? Now they started teaching other subjects, other humanist subjects, and slowly these subjects were introduced at the school level also, so that more and more children, more and more boys, more and more people might get educated and might take interest in all the subjects, because education not only meant studying medicine and religion, it meant studying other things also, which sum up the whole life and the environment and the culture that we live in. So this is how it started in Italy and how humanism spread in other parts of Europe also, right? So we'll limit ourselves to till this topic today, and later on I will teach you further in the other videos. So till then, take care of yourself. See you on Monday. Bye.